Hey everyone, GReimer here, coming at you once again from Wildwood Zoo here on the ZAWA server. Alright, check it out. There's a little pond behind me here that has a bunch of salmon in it. A couple weeks ago I asked a trivia question, on my channel, and I never answered it. I'm a goof. These salmon are all named after cities in the state of Washington. So if you got that one right, which majority of you did, you guys are correct. And Maddie actually was the one who stocked these fish, so that's all her. She's the one who did it. All right, in today's episode, though, we got some work to do. We got quite a bit of work to do. We have an exhibit to add. Let me see if I can't get airborne. Whee! Over here in the back northeast area of the zoo where the beacon is. This is the last little bit of land that we have here, and I kind of want to put what is that? What is that? Is that the marine iguana? It's a marine iguana. Okay, I thought for a second that was an Amazon river dolphin. I was gonna be like, I'm replacing the one that we lost. Rest in peace, Flipper. I kind of want to put an exhibit in here, a rather large one too. Now, in this area in the wild, I think it was episode 2. Might be episode 2. So that was quite a while ago. There was a couple of gorillas back here that Tasty and Sofa helped me capture. So I have a couple of western lowland gorillas, and I want to build a rather large exhibit for them back here, kind of capping off the end of this peninsula, kind of encompassing this curved area right here. It's gonna be, like I said, it's gonna be a big one. So let's pull up the map here. We're talking like from here to here, this area, kind of like a horseshoe shaped or a bean shaped, kidney shaped, I guess. Exhibit right there. That would officially be like the end of this area over here. So I'm planning on only putting just this one last exhibit in here, and that's just for the gorillas. Which means that I need to also get a path down here, but I'll do that later. I'm going to do that a little bit later. I got a little bit of stuff to talk about at the end of this episode, so be sure to stick around for it. But alright, what we're going to do is we're going to get to work right away on this thing. I need to kind of mark out the way the area this is going to go. It's going to have, of course, the palisade wall for the background, just to make it all mesh together. That bear is probably going to need to be, quote, relocated, end quote. I mean, I guess I could actually, I was just going to kill it, but I could actually just relocate. Oh yeah, I have Suma in my inventory. Okay, hold on. I kind of forgot to tell you guys this. Okay, so the rhinos, okay? The rhinos were escaping, and I think I figured out how. Where's the one? Okay, he's right there. Okay, so Clyde is still in there, all right? But Sumo was taken out. Now, I figured out how they were escaping. I sat here and just watched them. These things are magical. These things are magical. They can fly. Okay, does that make any sense? No. How they can fly is more interesting than the fact that they can. When they are together, they charge into each other. And when they charge into each other, they kind of levitate up into the air, and it looks like they are able to clear the 3-block high wall right here doing that. So this officially became a home for Clyde. He's the only one in there now because I don't need them running into each other and levitating off the ground. Now, this is an older version of ZAWA, so they might have fixed that or patched that, but if they didn't, if any of the developers are watching, that's the thing. Your rhinos fly when they're together. So yes, Clyde will forever reside in this here. That'll be our Sumatran rhino, and Suma will be forever known in our hearts and minds. But I just can't put both of them in there, otherwise they escape. All right, so let's get to work on this place. Now, I did a lot of the terraforming already as far as flattening out the area, so really I just have to get the palisade wall put in. Alright, I got the palisade wall done. Alright, so I went ahead and looked these guys up, and if I'm looking over at my other monitor here. It looks like these guys live in rainforest, swamp forest, brush, secondary vegetation, clearings on the edge of forests, abandoned farming fields, lots of forest type, okay? So, they live in primary and secondary lowland tropical forest. Forest is the idea, all right? So we're thinking like kind of like a rainforest jungle-esque edge, which I think is kind of interesting. So, I mean, this right here is actually kind of the same concept, but I think we're going to go less swamp-like and more just foresty for this one. So first things first, though, I still have a lot of terraforming I got to do because I did mark out where I want the edge of the exhibit to be right here. But I do need to dig all this out still and dig it down farther so that the gorillas don't escape. Otherwise, that'd be a little concerning. So I need to dig this down, I'd say about 3 blocks, and then I can start working on terraforming what I want the land to actually look like in here. And yeah, lowland, meaning it doesn't have to be very hilly. So small amounts of elevation change with some forest and some trees along the back sides, some shrubs and bushes. Yeah, I could probably make this work. All right, let me get to work. Okay, I went ahead and did the landscaping. It's done. I got all the grass put in. Now, this is not obviously the final version of the exhibit by any means. I still have to obviously add just a little bit of elevation change, and of course, maybe add a water feature. I'm thinking water feature. Gorillas like water, right? I think so. But I also did recall, as I was sitting here digging and doing a little bit of the work around here, I totally forgot to name the zebras. You guys definitely didn't, so thank you guys so much for killing it with the names again, but I'm a big old da-da-da and completely forgot to name the zebras. So, let's get to it. Alright, so let's give a big shout out to basically everybody who named, who offered up a name. You guys are all awesome. You almost unanimously all said the same thing. Which is kind of crazy to think about. So apparently there's some zebras in Madagascar that you guys all know. I really should sit down and watch that movie. But we're going to go with that because almost everybody suggested I name them that. So we're going to go with Marty and Stripes. Let's see. Marty was suggested by Christopher Renshaw, Orskull, Skycat64, Sakana, Heather Harmony, and Space Jesus. All of you recommended Marty. Stripes was the name offered up by Christopher Renshaw, Skycat64, Sakana, Heather Harmony, and Space Jesus. You guys killed it. Like, you all said the same thing. So clearly I'm going to have to go with that. So, all right, let's get to putting these guys in here, or maybe gals. I don't really know. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of this. See what they're doing. Now, zebras, I think they attack me, not going to lie. Let's go ahead and put one over here. Name it Marty. And Marty... Oh, I just ender pearled into Marty. Marty's a male. I'm going to try to get away from that thing before it wakes up. I did not mean to do that, Marty. I'm so sorry. Whoops. Okay, we're just going to pretend like that didn't happen. Let's go ahead and switch these things around. Let's get Stripes put in here. Bam. There's Stripes. And Stripes is also a male. Awesome. All right, well, let's get out of here before they wake up and get all mad about me, ender pearling into Marty back there. So... All right, sweet. So we got a couple of zebras in here. We got Gravy's zebras put in. Now, once they wake up, I'm sure they'll love their exhibit. And I don't think they can get out. I'm not sure if they're going to run into each other and fly in the air. Boy, are they sleepy. I mean, that one might be unconscious from me headbutting them. But the other one is still sleepy as well. Ah, well, they'll get up. I'm sure I'll tell if they get out of the exhibit because they'll probably come over here and try to eat my face. All right, so let's go ahead and stash the book again, as well as the empty nets. And then let's get to work on this. Now, slight elevation change I'm thinking would be good, but I do want to kind of interrupt this whole thing with, similar to what I did right here. In fact, maybe I can get creative and actually take this water feature, and ooh, it looks like Marty's up and moving. Sorry about the whole ender pearl thing. Maybe I can take this water feature and make it kind of continue this way. I might be able to do something fancy with that and have it cut into this one here. That could be kind of cool. You know what would also be kind of cool is if I took a nap, because I don't really want to get blown up. Alright, nap successfully taken. It looks like Stripes is up and running as well. Stripes is actually a little bit grayer of a color, it looks like. Am I imagining things? No, Stripe... Oh my god, Marty's unconscious again. Oh man. This head trauma. Probably head trauma. So sorry about that, Stripes. Or Marty, my bad. Alright, so I'm thinking about continuing that river over through this. Let's get the shovel out once and let's just kind of eyeball this thing. Something like this. Right around maybe here. Let's continue this to the back of the exhibit. We'll put a river cutting through this as well. And then that'll give the gorillas a little bit of water. And we'll probably put like maybe a log going across the top of it or something so they can crawl across. That might look kind of cool. Let's make it a little bit wider river. Now, I'm not going to make it deep. I'm going to just leave it 1 block deep. I really don't want the gorillas to drown. But let's go ahead and get the water bucket out here. And let's start filling this thing up. Oh my gosh, I dropped my backpack. Let's start filling this thing up here. Okay, water is added in the river there. Now, I am going to jazz up the bottom of that to make it look more river-like. But I do want to get the basics of, like, the elevation changes down here. So, I'm going to just kind of eyeball this and raise this back end up a little bit here. Not much. Just a little bit, it's kind of jutting off the back wall. And I'm going to have to fill that in, obviously. Yeah, that looks good. And then, let's go over here and raise this part the same kind of similar fashion. Now, I'm like I said, I'm just kind of free building this. I'm not really... I'm just straight up eyeballing it is what I'm doing. I did grab a whole bunch more of this green concrete powder because I intend on using that in this exhibit quite a bit, actually. Something like that. Yeah, that should be good. All right, now, these are lowland gorillas, so like I said, they're kind of a flatter terrain. I don't really plan on putting a lot of hills in this. So something like that should be fine. Now, I do have to fill that in. I have somewhere ground blocks. Yes, I have a bunch of grass I can use for that. Let's go ahead and stash that back into my backpack so I can get the cobble out of here. I'm not going to really need cobble right now anyway. I'll worry about that later when I get to decorating some more stuff. But once I get the terrain kind of figured out as to how I want this, then comes the fun part of trying to make the land itself look a little bit more custom and unique. You guys have seen that in almost, well, actually literally every exhibit here. I'm trying to think about what block tile should I use for this. I mean, rainforest thing, I could actually go take a peek at the Sumatran Rhino exhibit and just kind of copy that one, or at least do something very similar to that. But I don't know. I'll have to experiment with it a little bit. I don't really want to make it look too much like that, but it is supposed to be very similar, so there's gonna be some similarities. All right, but one thing's for sure, I'm definitely gonna be adding this green concrete powder, so I'm gonna get to work on sprinkling this in places, and we'll see how this all turns out. Okay, green concrete powder is in place. I also went ahead and did the riverbed here a little bit, and kind of jazzed it up to make it look just a little bit cooler than just a blah body of water. So now, what other blocks can I put in here? Now, I do think that the coarse dirt is a good feature in this as well. Obviously, the path blocks are going to make it pop in the end, but Podzol actually wouldn't be too bad one. My inventory is, as usual, an absolute nightmare. I do have some Podzol with me. Let's just go ahead and squirt that in there for right now because I don't really know what to do with that. Let's go ahead and sprinkle some Podzol in here and maybe some coarse dirt and see what that does to this place. Okay, the land is in. The land is done. I like it. Okay, I actually do like it. Now, I do need to do some path blocks and stuff like that to make this really pop. But I'm not going to worry about that quite yet. What I am going to worry about is where am I going to put all these blocks I have in my inventory. Because it's a little bit of a disaster. And I'm just going to smash them in there. Temporarily, I'll sort that out later. I say that, but I mean, I've only sorted out my inventory maybe twice this entire series. I'll just smash these in there too. I wouldn't mind actually grabbing some gravel and sprinkling that in here. Let's go to the bat backpack. Are you here? There it is. Yes. Let's put some gravel in here. Just the occasional block here or there. Nothing really fancy. Something to break up the kind of the greens a little bit to add just a little hint of gray. I can also do that with the stone piles that I put in other exhibits, which I might actually add in here. So that could be on its way as well. But yeah, a little bit of gray like this I think really breaks it up just enough to make it so that it doesn't seem too blah. But it also doesn't seem like this is just a big gravel pit. Let's go ahead and put one there and right there. Something like this. Yeah, alright, yeah, alright, this should be good. Let me just drop one or two more in here, and then we'll get on our merry way to the next part, which should be a little bit of fun, because I'm thinking that's going to be the vegetation. Gotta get on with the vegetation. Alright, good. There's some gravel added in there. Stone piles, too, is something else I really want to add. Oh, the log. Let's do the log. The one going across the downed area here. Okay, so I like the way pine looks in this mod pack. I think that looks really cool. Let's get a little bit of oak out here as well. Let's try to organize the hotbar a little bit to be a little bit more accommodating for doing a little decoration here. And we'll grab just some spruce too, just in case I need to dip any of it in the water. Now, wouldn't it be cool to have like kind of like the stump still there, you know? So like if there was like supposed to be a tree right here-ish. I'm just kind of free building again. Something like this. And like it had broken off. Hold on, I'll get back to the oak here and get the colors going in here just a little bit. And it had broken off and it had fallen this way. Wouldn't that be kind of nifty? Let's go ahead and actually just kind of roughly free build where the log actually would be. Something like right there. Okay, so that was just spamming blocks. That was nothing really fancy on that one. That was just get the shape sorted down pat. Alright, so let's get the axe out here and clean this up a bit. Make this a little bit prettier than what it originally was there. Let's go ahead and sprinkle in a little bit of different color wood, so it kind of seems like the wood is drying, you know, a little bit. That's why, at least that's the idea. That's what I was going for, at least, by adding in these different types of wood types in there. So it seems like it's kind of drying a little bit in the sun. Now, when it's hitting right here, this is where the spruce leaves come in, or spruce wood comes in. When it's hitting right here, it actually would be getting a little bit damp because it's touching the water edge. You know, that's kind of what it's supposed to represent. Let's go ahead and add like maybe a little bit of a branch there. So that's why those would be a little bit darker. Now this needs to be a little bit prettier. I mean, that's not bad. It's not too bad. Yeah. Yeah, alright, I think I like it. Yeah, alright, and then I guess right here, again, touching the mud and whatnot, it'd be kind of closer to the roots of the thing. Let's just do that. Making this look somewhat pretty. Now, I am going to go through and detail this a little bit more with slabs, I'm thinking will make it pop, but that's pretty good for the down tree, like the down log. Yeah, that kind of works. Looks like it fell over from right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and squirt these guys back into the wood backpack for now. We'll deal with those guys later. And then ground blocks. Let's get the ground blocks out here. I do want to add some kind of stone piles in here. I do have a little bit of gravel in my inventory. That's good. Let's just drop a couple pieces of andesite and the stone itself, and then let's grab this cobblestone out and just keep that in my inventory for right now. Stone piles. All right, so let's do one right here. Actually, I think this will look pretty good. Something like this. Now, it's something so that the gorillas have something to climb on a little bit, other than just walking around on here. It doesn't really say they're much into climbing. I guess they would go into like maybe trees and whatnot too. So I'm just kind of trying to give them some terrain to walk on here, and then maybe another one on this end someplace. Maybe closer to the front here so people can actually see them. Where's my shovel? I need my shovel here. Go ahead and knock out some of this and put some of the stones actually in the ground. I got to do that on the other side as well. Something along the lines of this. Okay, and then this is where this comes in play. Let's actually slap down a crafting table because my inventory is a mess and I don't know what I have what crafting areas I have available. But let's go ahead and grab a few of these. Let's do one more. A few of those guys. Break this. Let's sprinkle these in places as well. Yeah. Alright, so that looks like a good stone pile right there. Let's hop, skip, and a jump over to this one here and add a few details onto this one as well. Just drop some gravel in there. And then maybe one right there. Yeah, I like it. Alright, so now I gotta try to pick out some vegetation. Actually, before I move on to the vegetation, let me just do that up this place real quick. Let's go ahead and throw that on right there, as well as that one right there. And I'm thinking that might be all I need to do, right, for that part at least. Anything over here I want to jazz up just a bit? Not really, actually. I kind of like how this all looks. I think that was all I really needed to do. Now, vegetation. Okay, so this is, let's get the squid backpack out here. That's where I got these slabs from. Let's squirt those back in there. Vegetation. We're going to need plants. What kind of trees am I going to put in here? Maybe I can actually I should build a custom tree. I haven't built a custom tree in a little bit. Let me get to work on. Ooh, it's getting nighttime. Wood, traveler's backpack. Let's go ahead and take a power nap. And then I think I'm going to try to design a little bit of a custom tree here. Something that kind of droops maybe to the left, on the right side of the exhibit, drooping to the left. Like maybe on this slant right here, on this little bit of a slope, have the tree connected right there, and sloping a little bit that way. Alright, so let me get the trunk built, because I'm going to have to do a little bit of wireframing and just kind of guesstimating on that one. And then I'll catch back up with you here once I let my creative juices flow. Okay, the creative juices have officially flowed, and this is what I got. Now, I know this looks kind of janky, but these are kind of like, they look kind of like dead trees right now, but I'm going to fix that up a little bit. I don't want them to be like fully lush, like big bushy trees, because there's, I mean, although this is a rather large exhibit, there's not actually a lot of room in here. Hey, the zebras are still in their exhibit. How cool is that? There's not actually a lot of room in here, so I'm not going to go that gung-ho berserk on them. I do want to create what looks kind of like draping vines on these, though. So not like big foliage, more like hanging down draping vines on these. Let's go ahead and actually start working on that. So it looks like it's draping down each one of the branches here. Kind of off the end. Now, these will actually look very similar. If you guys watched my time when I was on Minecraft, Season 8, they allowed that open to the patrons, and I hopped on that because I thought that'd be fun to leave my mark on that kind of historic server. I built trees there that were very similar to this along the edge of my base. And I think I'm going to try to bring that over. I actually do want to get up there still. Now this, if you see me hopping up here, that means the gorillas can hop up here, and I don't really fancy them falling off and dying. So I'm going to have to probably change that just a little bit so that they don't do that. Yeah, so I'll have to maybe put slabs or something in the way so that they can't actually do that. But for now, this should work just fine. Let's go ahead and sprinkle in. I'm mixing in the jungle leaves that I have left over from collecting from that exhibit there in with this, because I think that'll look rather nice. All right, so now this is where I'm going to create the drooping effect of them coming down here. So let's go ahead and do something like this. Yeah. And then slap one of these guys on the end, so it almost looks like they're kind of dying off towards the end. Whoops, that's not supposed to be there. And I don't need to do that on all of them. Just on some of them. Okay, this is getting a little too repetitive. Let's break this up just a little bit. I think that looks fine the way it is right there. Alright, so let's droop this one down to down. Okay, good. Different elevation. I want to make sure those weren't on the same way. Now, let's grab the leaf backpack again here, because I want to get some of these leaves in here instead, so that it's not all just red tips on the ends of these things. I don't actually know what kind of tree this would be. This is just a make-believe tree, so don't take it too seriously, but something like that actually is getting pretty close. Now I do want to continue the vegetation a little bit down the back side of it here, kind of blending that in with bushes on the bottom here, so that'll actually probably prevent the gorillas from climbing up there. But alright, I'm going to copy this design kind of over onto this one as well, and then we'll get to work on the vegetation and the rest of the exhibit. Ta-da! Alright, I got the trees built and put in. I like them. They look kind of droopy, but that's kind of the point. They're supposed to look that way. Like I said, they're not really modeled after any any real tree. They're just kind of an imagination tree. So, alright, so I got that done. Now, one thing I wouldn't mind... Oh, it's getting nighttime too. But one thing... Where's my squid backpack? In here, I have a tire swing. Wouldn't mind attaching this to the underside of one of these trees, because I'm guessing the gorillas are probably going to want to have a tire swing. That's a little high. I wonder if there's any way I can lower this. I don't know. I should mess with that probably after I sleep, so creepers don't come and blow up my nice new trees. But I wouldn't mind having the tire swing a little bit lower so that they could actually like swing on it. I needed to use thin rope, I believe, to actually even make that. Where's the squid backpack again? I think I have that in here. Let's see if I can't attach some. Can this do the thing? Maybe. I mean, if the tire swing sat like right in between there, that would be amazing. But it doesn't. But it doesn't. I need that like shifted over. Okay, so no, the thin rope won't work. Maybe I'll have to get creative with fences? Fence gates? Open fence gates? I don't know. I want this to be dropped down. Squid backpack, where are you? Like, I don't think open fence gates will work either. Maybe I'll just give him a scratching post. Sure. Sure, let's just slap down a scratching post in here instead. Something that they can rub up against. Bam, we'll put that right there, and I'll doodad up some stuff around that in just a little bit. I do want to put this tire swing in here, though. It's kind of important. Maybe I'll put it here so it's a little bit farther down. Except for where'd it go? There it is. Except I'll turn it this way. There we go. I guess I'll do that. Actually, hold on one second. Maybe if I just did this. Yeah, that's better than what I've been doing, what I've been throwing in here. So, all right, so we'll go with that. Now, I said I was going to jazz this up here, and I'm not going to be a liar today. Let's go ahead and kind of mat down this area around this. Actually, it's gonna be matted down throughout a lot of this. No, I can't really do that underneath it. But I do want to make sure that right around this area, it's good matted down because they've been here messing with the scratching post. All right, so I'm gonna go through and put in the path blocks. I think now would make a good sense. That doesn't look right. Where is my cobble? I'm gonna fix this real quick. Got it. All right. I'm going to go ahead and put in these path blocks here, and then we're going to get to putting in the vegetation here. And then I'm actually going to be adding a gorilla in this episode. I'm going to name it because I heard that there is actually a cool little Easter egg, and it turns out to not be true. Well, then it's not true, but I'm going to see if it is. But let's get to matting down this area here, and then let's get to the vegetation. All right, the ground is done. Let's get to adding the bushes and the vegetation. Now, these guys do live on the edges of forest. Oh, that zebra was high up, but I think he was on top of something. I got to check that real quick. Because, yeah, I just threw that right into the wall. Hey, pro throw. There we go. Okay, yeah, he was just on the bushes in the back. Okay, I was like, is he escaping? No, okay, the zebras I think are good. Now that I removed the other Sumatran rhino, I think that's good too. So, all right, let's get to adding these bushes in here. I'm thinking lining the back of them, of course. They are supposed to be on the edge of like a forest, so I think having heavy vegetation in the back area here of the exhibit would be a good idea. And then that will kind of give it the impression that it's actually on the edge of the forest. I could even have it kind of encompassing this actually a little bit, so it looks like the river's kind of coming out of the water here a little bit too. Yeah, that might work. And then as we're going through here, just sprinkle in these leaves as well. I don't want to add too many of the different colored leaves in here because this is supposed to be a very lush area. So I don't really need it to look like it's... I'm going to have to get rid of this. This just isn't working. I don't want it to make it look like it's kind of like some leaves are dying or anything like that. I want to make this very lush, very lively. So that's why, yeah, oh, see, I like that. I like how that looks. How it looks like it's kind of flooding out of there. That's good. Yeah. Let me take a step back here and take a peek at... Oh, I just broke that and immediately put it back. Let me take a step back here and take a peek and see what this actually ends up looking like whenever I do a little bit of this stuff in here. Oh, yeah. Yep, that's what I'm talking about. So now this does give a lot of room for the gorillas to move around in here, which is fine. I'm fine with that. I don't really need to add any more to that, I don't think. Let's go ahead and get the rest of these leaves put in place. And then we're going to work on the actual like grass and the vegetation that would be in here all throughout the exhibit. So this could look good when it's done. I'm liking this so far. All right, the bushes are put in the back there. Man, that looks good. All right, yeah, I'm liking that. I'm liking that a lot. Now, to add in some more stuff, let's see, plants. And where's that random, not the glass, there's like one random, this one, Traveler's Backpack, that has plant life in it as well. All right, so let's get to work on picking out some, let's get to work on taking a nap. And then let's get to work on picking out some foliage to put in here. I'm thinking, I don't want to make it look like a grassland. It's kind of like that, the barley and stuff that I added and the sea oats that I put in here. Make it look very dry. I'm not really interested in that. I want to make it look lush and green. So let's look at what we got for that. Berry bushes I think would be a good idea, especially since I'm pretty sure that they would like that. Let's add a few cattails maybe along the edge of the river here, actually. Can I do this? Yeah, look at that. Can you grow those bigger? Is that a thing? Yeah, I'm kind of like, let's put one back here too. Like that. Nice. I think those grow bigger, but I'm not sure. Well, if they do, we'll put another one back here. Let's put those back. I don't need too many of them. Bonsai. Or not bonsai. Those are bonsai? I don't really know what those are, but they look green, which is all I need to know. All I need to know. We're going to be adding these things in places as well. Let's get some on the other side of the exhibit. Hop, skip, and a jump. This area around here, I'm going to leave this rather open, considering that that's where they would be constantly walking to go get to the scratching post itself. Let's add the berry bushes in here as well. I can't really add them on concrete powder, can I? Technically, it's not really land. That's not natural land anyway. I'm going to add these particularly in the back areas too, because I want them to have the red berries on them kind of pop out in the back. And yeah, something like that. All right, what else do we got that we can throw in this? The reeds actually are kind of interesting. I think these are the things I have to place while I'm airborne, if I'm not mistaken. Hey, yep. Because, like, I can't place them, but if I jump... Oh, no, it's going to make me a liar. Maybe they just randomly place. Yeah, they randomly seem to place. One of these is not real. That was the real one. Oh, no, they both are real. Okay, that's fine. I didn't want too many reeds in there anyway. I just kind of trying to put them at the beginning and entrance of this, just a little bit. There we go. Very weird. I don't know the black magic or voodoo magic behind these things, but yeah, we could also add in a lily pad or two along the river, too, especially back here. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, hold on 1 second. Something like that. There we go. That's better. I like to like it a little bit farther off the back there. All right, what else do we got in here? Leaves. I could actually add leaf piles underneath the trees here, especially on this these brown blocks and stuff. That really kind of makes those pop just a little bit. Let's go add some underneath this area over here as well. Fine little details like this. I also added this little bush pile right here. I think that kind of looks pretty good. All right, that's good enough probably for the leaves. Oh, there's actually, hold on, I saw something in there. There's also the dead leaves, which I think would look pretty nifty. Now these look good on the greener blocks and stuff. So it's the opposite of the other leaves. The lively leaves, they look better on the browns. These ones look better on the greens. All right, that's probably pretty good right there. I don't want to overdo those either. This isn't supposed to be looking like a dead area. Now these look like jungle stuff. I like this. All right, I like this a lot. Go ahead and, yeah, look at that bright green. That's what I'm talking about. I don't have too many of them though, so let's kind of be spread out with how I place these. Something like right around there too. That should be fine. All right, what else we got? Green, lively. That's what I'm talking about. All right, so that's basically what I'm looking for. Green and lively. That way, this place will pop a little bit when I add in the tall grass in the rest of the areas. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, right there, and yeah, right there. Good. All right, I got one of those left. I guess that's all right because this is technically the last exhibit I think I'm putting in this zoo, so might as well go nuts. Vines, I don't really need any of those things. Although vines would be in the jungle. It just I don't need to deal with them growing down and stuff like that. Arctic moss. Can't really use that in this one, I don't think. What do I got in this backpack here? Got some medium lily pads too, which I'm gonna go ahead and slap one of those kind of down here near the entrance or of the other end of the river. And then what else do I got? Green wild celery. This could be some nifty greens. Let's go ahead and sprinkle these in places. Oh yeah, definitely for sure. Sprinkle these in places. Back here, sure. Jump, skip, use the log as it's intended. Like I said, I'm trying to keep clear of the scratching post because I want them to actually use that the way it's intended. And let's put another one back there. Anything else? I could actually squeeze in some of these things around the fallen log, to be honest. That doesn't really go on there. I really wish you could place those like on the log. Squirt that back there. You can't really see it from the viewing platform, but that's fine. Let's see if I can't find a new home for some of these guys that have broke down. One was back here. Let's move them. I'm just basically moving them forward a little bit. And sugarcane would be. Oh yeah. Hold on. Wait. Bamboo. That's in one of these backpacks. Where is it? Here it is. Bamboo. That's what I'm talking about. Living bamboo too, because this is, like I said, that it's supposed to be a lively area too. Again, I don't know if this grows or not. And if it does, I'm going to do something to prevent that. I'm going to grab some string. Oh, this isn't a real thing. It's not like a block you can stand on. Can I? There we go. There we go. And There we go. All right, so that should prevent the bamboo from growing, if it does even grow. I don't even know that. Okay, what does this look like? Oh yeah, I like that. It's nice. It's a taller piece too. So it's a taller piece of foliage. So let's go ahead and squirt that in the back of this exhibit. That way it draws the attention forward. Let's eat some fish here because I was starving to death. Yeah, get out of the water. And then maybe one more somewhere over here. Right in the back there. Awesome, perfect. Alright, so now I think I'm at the point where I can probably just switch to good old-fashioned bone meal. And make this place look pretty. Let's go ahead and get some more bone meal here because I know I'm going to need it. Alright, I still have a few bones left, so let's go ahead and jazz this place up just a bit. I think that'll be probably it for this exhibit. This will be the gorilla exhibit, and then we got to get to naming one of these things now. There's a gorilla in Overwatch. I think his name's Winston, but I'll look it up real quick before I name this thing. But I think it's named Winston, and I think if you name a gorilla Winston in this mod pack, he gets like a big cannon for an arm, or a big cannon and armor plating and stuff. So I kind of want to give that a shot. All right, I think that's it. I think that's all I'm going to do on this part. Let's get one of these ender balls out here and yeet this thing over there. Yeah, I'm liking that. All right, what do you guys think? Go down in the comment section and let me know. Let me get the squid backpack out here because hopefully it still has a whole bunch. No, it has 14. I'm going to need to make more of these steel bars. Luckily, I've got some iron still. The iron farm has been disabled for quite some time now, since I built the aquarium. So I've been kind of operating on whatever iron I have left. I haven't really gone mining. And I still have quite a bit, so it's not just what I had in my backpack there. So I got quite a bit, so I can still do some fun decorating and whatnot with it. So it's not the end of the world. Bam, like that. There it is. What do you guys think? Does that look like a pretty good gorilla exhibit for Western Lowland gorillas? I kind of like it. I like the custom trees, actually. I probably should have done more custom trees in this area, because those kind of look blah over there. But these look really unique. But, you know what? These look like acacia trees like they're supposed to, so it's not a big deal. Let's go ahead and just drop the rest of these back into the squid backpack. And then let's go get the gorilla. Plus, I'm going to take a break here and go make sure I'm going to be naming it the correct thing. So give me one quick second. Winston. Yes, I am correct. That is the name of it. Now, I never really played much Overwatch. I was never very good at it. And, yeah, it's one of those things, like, if you're not good at something and you're just playing it, you're like, I don't really like this game. Never really tickled my fancy. But it was kind of a fun shooter for a little bit, but, I mean, I kind of got bored quick. I'm more of an artsy kind of video game player. I like playing survival games and things like this anyway. It's just kind of the genre I like. So, let's get back over here. Do I even have the gorilla? Did I grab him? I totally forgot the gorilla. Let me get back there. Alright, I actually have the gorilla now this time. Not only one, but I actually have 4 gorillas. I'm going to be naming one of them, but I need you guys to go down and, in the comments section, put down names for gorillas that you're thinking of. Kind of fun names, if you could. I don't know many gorillas. I mean, Kong, I guess. I guess I can't really jump over this fence, can I? I guess Kong would be one of them, but I'm going to let you guys name them. I'm just going to name this one Winston, because I want to see if it changes to the armor plating. I read it somewhere months ago, actually, so I'm hoping that it's true. I think that'd be kind of cool. Let me get in here and just slap. I'll put him down here by the scratching post. Oh, let's get the. Let's see if Winston's gonna be a dude or a chick too. Let's go ahead and pick up this flower also, and put him down. And look at him. It's a female. Bam. Oh, it does change him to look like the gorilla from from Overwatch. That is awesome. That is that is crazy. Oop! I fell in the river. That is really cool. Winston. Alright, so Winston in this zoo is a chick. But I need you guys to name the other gorillas if you don't mind. Yeah, Winston. Okay, he makes some crazy noises. Hopefully he doesn't climb out of there. I didn't really even think about that. I mean, gorillas can totally climb, can't they? I'm sure it'll be fine. I'll just put a warning sign on the bars here. Alrighty, guys, I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode. Let me get away from the really noisy gorilla for a second. I'll go over here by the really noisy other animals. I need 3 other names for gorillas, though, like I said, down in the comment section if you don't mind. However, okay, so I told you at the beginning of the episode there's some cool stuff coming up here, because this was actually the last exhibit that I was going to build. Now, there's a lot of stuff that needs to get done here in the zoo still, other than exhibits, like all these paths and a lot of detailing and fun stuff like that. So to take care of all of that stuff, I'm going to do it in one full shebang. I'm not going to have an episode come out next week, okay? So when you're watching this, if it just aired, next Friday, there's not going to be a ZAWA episode. I know, sad face. But Saturday, the Saturday following it, which would be, what is that, October 23rd? Yeah, October 23rd, just before the week of horror, there is going to be a ZAWA live stream, okay? Now, I'm not sure what time it's going to be. Look to my community tab for the announcement coming up before then. But it'll probably be, I'm guessing, like noon Eastern, right around then. And I'm going to do a live stream. It's not going to be a set time limit like the first live stream I did on here. This one's going to be until it's done. Okay? Until the zoo is done. So please tune in and input your opinions on what you think I should make and build and stuff like that, and some of the detailing stuff, and talk to me while I'm building, because I like some company, because it's going to be a long live stream. Like I said, while I finish all the pathing, all the little detailing here around the zoo, and put the final touches on Wildwood. So join me for that. It'll be great. Now that is not going to be the final episode though. There'll be one more episode from this zoo, and it's going to be a doozy. I don't have anything confirmed yet, but I'm looking to get a special guest here to look at the zoo and tour it. And we're going to do a zoo tour. So that's going to be the final episode, though, is there's going to be a zoo tour where we go around and look at all the animals and reminisce about all the good times that we've had here. So thank you guys so much for donating your eyeballs and ear holes to this episode. I will be back next week, Saturday, though, for the live stream. So hopefully I see you guys all there. All right, thanks again for watching, everybody, and bye-bye.